All right. So good morning, everybody, to our Saturday morning business building team Zoom. Um, Last week we covered how to organize the results by a spreadsheet. Well, I also had somebody who had sent me some sort of a spreadsheet that you can kind of compile everything and be able to kind of sift through the information and get the information a little bit kind of clarified down to what is actually in and out, or what's out actually. And I sent that template to Bonita, and Bonita played around with it. I am not one of these people. I don't have time to mess with this. So Bonita took the time and actually played around with it. And she's got some things she's going to share with us this morning. I'm really excited about it. It's kind of short notice, but I hope everybody loves what she comes up with, and she's still playing with it. So it might be able to do some features that we're just not completely sure of just yet. So bear with us, but I'm gonna let Bonita just kind of take it away.
Okay, thanks, Tammy. Sorry, I don't have my video turned off. My camera does not work. I do not know why. I'm technically savvy, but I can't figure that one out.
Okay.
Anyways, when I saw the spreadsheet last week, I thought spreadsheets are kind of my jam because I spent the last 100 years working in finance and software. And so when I looked at it, my first thought when I looked at the first report, I thought there has to be something better that I can use to look at this, because otherwise it's just a jumble of numbers from one time to the next, and I don't know really what it is I'm concentrating on. So when Tammy sent that spreadsheet last week, I had a look at it, and in true fashion, I decided I'd like to do something that's a little more complex than that, or a little more complete than that. So what I started with initially is I kind of fed off of what this other lady had done, and I created this this one here, not this one, sorry. And what it did is it went and it took all the totals from all of the sheets and put them in there. I thought, okay, well, that's kind of cool, because I also added in, this is really basic setup. So anybody who wants to do this, I can send you the template. It's not this isn't something complex that's going to stymie a whole bunch of people. I put in filters because if I wanted to look at, say, something that I had nothing that was actually in the fives, I only want to look at the blanks and see where maybe some of my trouble areas are. So I'm going to look only at the blanks here. It shows me things that have never actually shown up as a 5. And then I can also see, oh, look, I've got twos, or not two, sorry. That's 2 instances of something in the reds showing up, or in the number 1, sorry, that are showing up as issues. So maybe that's something that I need to look at. So I thought, well, this is kind of cool, but it's actually not enough, because then I would have to go back and I would have to look at the individual scans, because I want to know how old this is too. There's no dates in here. So what I did is I kind of went back to the drawing board and I said, okay, well, I'm going to take a scan, an original scan, drop it in here. And then I take those scans, and I did exactly what Tammy did last week, because I just did a quick copy paste. So I copy paste from the scan that I get from my reports, and I put it into these columns. And this is where I put in the totals, right? So again, I've got my filters here. So I can filter, say, based on I just want to look at the blood items. So I check off all of those. Then I'm just looking at those items. And then I can look at, okay, well, so where are my reds showing up? What are my numbers? And also, what is my trend, right? So that's the other reason when I went back is I said, okay, well, I want the totals here. And these are just literally counting the instances of each of these during the day, right? So how many reds have I got for this scan for these items? And then I look at those numbers, and I put in the reds and the greens, because I always like to see signs of progress. And I think as a client, if I have one complaint about when I'm working with practitioners, I go to see practitioners, and what I find is that they're always telling me, well, you're doing this wrong, and you're doing this wrong, and you're doing this wrong. And it's like, I also want to know that I'm doing something right, because otherwise I feel like I'm spending all of my money coming to see you. And where's my progress? So
Right.
you might want to see progress. As the client, I want to see it more because I'm paying this money and trusting you to help me. So I just put in here, this is the, what have I got here? I've got the 1s and the 9s. And then here I've got the 5s. So I did that for anything. So again, it's like, and then so for anybody who wants to use this template, all they would have to do is basically get the scan. You're going to copy in those numbers, and it really is this simple. There's a few, of course.
Of course.
Of course. Well, and that's why we want this, right? Because otherwise it's like, where do you start, right? And I know, like, when I listened to Becky the other day and she was talking about doing this all manual, and I thought, oh, wow, that's dedication.
It
So
is,
then,
and I've been doing it manual all this time too. And I mean, you have to take a series, like I said, a series of, 3 to 7 scans, and you've got to sift through that information just to kind of get an idea. And if we, and I also have another guy, but he will not share what he does. Because he charges $150 to take 14 days of scans and compile it in some sort of spreadsheet thing. And it's genius too, but he won't share his information. I'm like, man.
Why would somebody not share that? That doesn't make any sense.
Well, because he's making money off of it. You pay him $150 and he sifts it all together and gives you a printout. And I can show you what he did for my mom, and it was spectacular, but there's no way to figure out what he's done. It's all done with spreadsheet, and it is simply magnificent. But if Bonita can give us a start, gosh, this would be fantastic.
Wow.
And,
yes.
And the crazy thing is Solex will probably come up with something, but they're trying to get all of this other information out to us beforehand.
Well, I asked Solex if they were working on reports, and they said not at this time.
Oh, okay.
And so the thing is, you need to keep in mind, sorry, I messed this up because I was not really paying attention. The thing to keep in mind is that unless and until they start storing the data, they can't build reports because they don't have the data to build the reports. Like you have to save the data in order to build those reports.
That is true. And you're probably right, spot on with that.
Yes. So they said right now, they've had a request for it, but it's not on their immediate list.
Okay.
And that's why I thought, well, we need something that starts now.
And then actually, what would actually happen with that is somebody would say, hey, this is a, different type of tool, and we really don't want that out there. So
it would be more like a diagnosis or and the FDA. So I think that's why they don't store the data.
And that may very well be true. So we want to keep this as protected as possible. So Bonita, what are you doing? Are you putting each day scan in that one area, that scan one area, and then you're actually adding it to your master list? Is that what you're doing?
Yes. So you get your reports out. So basically it's just, you're going to come into the report. You're going to do a copy paste, just like you did, right?
Right.
And in this copy paste, now I need to make sure that I don't have any filters set here, because that's where I end up messing up. Because then when I drop the data in there, it actually updates my totals. I'm not doing anything other than a copy paste with this template,
nice.
Nothing.
Nice.
And so then again, it'll update these numbers. It'll also update this sheet.
Okay.
Because this sheet is tied to this sheet. So again, the question is, what do you want to see? Because I look at this from mostly from how I'm using this personally. I don't know what you guys are using in terms of wanting to help your clients. And so this gentleman that sent you did he send you a spreadsheet?
No, he did not. He just sent me what the results were. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yes.
So I know it's got to be something like this because he worked for the Department of Defense and was some sort of technical guy. And he's trying to do this so that he can sell it to practitioners, some sort of a system. And I get that, but God, it would be so nice if we could just share our resources so everybody can be, amazing at this.
Well, yes, and that's why I was thinking too, it's like there's a health practitioner conference coming up here in May, right? And again, it's like if you want them to use this system, they have to be able to get the reporting out of it. And even if it's something as simple as an Excel report that actually helps them narrow down what they're looking at, because otherwise you're looking at, you've got what 800 lines of data here?
Yeah, there's a lot.
Where do you even start, right? So this, at least, I find this a little bit busy. But again, it's like, if you guys want to try using it, I can certainly send it to you. Like I send it to you, there's no data in it. You'd have to drop your own data in, but at least that way you could see what you're getting from it. And then you could see whether or not this will help, or if it needs to go. This is really basic. Like there's really basic formulas in there. I don't know what that gentleman has done. He may have done something even like with VBA or Access, right? If you have those skills. And I can see why he's doing what he's doing, because there's definitely a need for this. But this at least would get people started, because otherwise, like I say, when I looked at those reports, I was just like overwhelmed. It's like, I don't even know where to start.
Right. Yeah. If I showed you on the screen what my mom wouldn't mind me sharing her information, but it was the one way that we found out how many hits she had in all the different areas. And he did it in several different days. So you could see that, wow, she's got quite a lot going on. And we were able to kind of zero in on where her problem area is and focus on that area, and then move on to the next area. And then she started having all these improvements. So it really did take a lot of the noise out, so to speak. And it really honed down on what was in it. I guess if I showed y'all could really see what I'm talking about, but it basically showed everything that was the problem. It was just nothing but the problems, and we were able to focus in on that.
Was he using Excel or was he using Access?
I don't know what he was using. To me, it looked like it was like an Excel type of workup.
So Tammy, was he just pulling 9s and 1s then? So if you had a 1-1 and a 9-9, was that the information?
No. Let me pull it up on my phone and I'll tell you exactly.
Okay, sorry.
That's okay. No. Don't be sorry. It was very genius, to tell you the truth. And I've even got mine. I had mine done too, and mine was not. You could tell the difference between mine and my mom's. But what he took was like 14 days of easy scan. So seeing the easy scan is completely different from, because on the easy scan, it only gives you what on the comprehensive was chosen that day that you needed, where it wasn't compiling everything in the comprehensive. So,
yes, and that would definitely make life easier, right? Because again, you're eliminating a lot of the noise.
Yeah. But he did it in percentages. And now I can't find it. I'll have to find it and maybe kind of send you guys. I may have put it somewhere else in my phone, but I'll show it on next call. That way y'all can look at it and see what I'm talking about. But if someone could figure out how to do that, boy, that'd be even more of a lifesaver. But this will give us at least a start where we can, kind of start seeing where our outs are.
Yeah, if you could even send me like like just a snapshot of it,
Uh-huh.
because maybe by looking at it, I might recognize it.
I will. I'll definitely send that to you, Benita, and see what your thoughts are on it. I know I've got them stored. I think they're on my computer. That's the reason why I can't find them on my phone. So I'll find them and I'll send them to you. That way you can see what it was that he did. Maybe you could figure out what he did.
Okay. Well, like I say, in the meantime, you're welcome to use this mostly because, like I say, it at least gives you, like I put in the subtotals for each area. So if you're looking at those specific areas, you can at least see what's showing up, right?
Uh-huh. So is this for every single column? Is that your filter over here to the left? That
Yes.
You're showing us, or actually to your right?
Yeah, to my left, the filter is basically for every single row.
Okay.
And so for each of the areas, so you'll see up here, you've got subtotals that they add up automatically, right? So if I was to change that to a 4, it changes those numbers, right? So that's why I say you just basically what you need to do is copy paste all of your results into here, and it gives you your totals. So then you can tell, gives you the totals by area. Now, I didn't get any more complex than that just because it's a lot of time.
Sure.
But I just did like each category, not each subcategory. So that gives you the total, like for blood, right? And again, for chakras, that's not really that meaningful, but your gastrointestinal stuff, right? So again, you can tell. And then you can also see, like I say, if you look across, then you're also seeing, are we actually making progress? Or so if you're adding in like a new supplement or a new therapy, right, then you can be looking at that over time to say, oh yeah, that's making a difference, or no, we're actually not hitting whatever issue you're dealing with, right?
Okay, so tell us again what the totals are telling us. Is it the amount of red items?
This is the number of 1s and 9s.
Okay.
In gastrointestinal. This is the number of 5s in gastrointestinal.
It's so cool. So even at the top, so when you look at the very top line, allergy or whatever. So
yes,
44. So there was 44 reds, and it improved down to 5, right? So
no. So this total here, sorry, I have to go right to the top. This total here is just for allergies and sensitivities. That's why I say it's like I didn't put in. I could do that again. Like I could put in another 2 rows up here.
Gotcha.
Where I would have to add in like the total for the whole report. This is just by category.
Okay.
Okay.
So you're comparing, if you're comparing these numbers,
yeah,
you're comparing them across, because this is day 1, this is day 2, this is day 3, this is day 4, right?
Gotcha.
But if you wanted to look like, because I started looking at this and I thought, well, I don't want to look at everything because everything is too much to start with. So I just want to look at blood. So I start with blood, right?
Yep.
And start looking at here, what's happening.
Oh, wow.
See, one of the things that I look at very first is like minerals. I try to work on minerals and then the vitamins and stuff next. That's kind of my method, but only because minerals kind of give us a story as to, well, number one, are they minerally deficient, which most of us are, right? But, that's kind of where I start and then move forward from there. And it's still painstaking trying to figure all that out. But this is going to make it so much more useful.
Well, it's a start. So where are minerals in nutritional?
I think it's.
Well, I need to do all of them anyways, because again, this is as complex as I got. Because the other thing is, it's like I didn't want to spend a lot of time on it. If it's like, no, we don't need that. It's like, well, that's
right there. They are.
There they are,
right? Second category down.
No, we need you, Bonita.
Yeah.
Yes. The thing is, like, even with iodine, right? So iodine is yes, right? So again, I started looking at this. It's like this to me at least narrows it down.
Okay, so kind of give us an idea on the iodine. The very first one is for the 15th, correct? So that 6 and that 8 is for the 15th.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, but at the very top of that value, oh, you don't have like the total on those, right?
Well, I have the total here for
Oh, it's up there.
nutritional.
Okay,
Yes,
so that's for the entire category of nutritional, correct?
correct, correct.
Nice.
So
The
yes,
thing that
it's-
the thing that I would caution that we all look at is if they add a new food or when they add something new and we're just copying, we're gonna have all of them be wrong. So is there a way we know when they add things in or anything?
They typically will give us some insight. Hey, did y'all see the new updates? And then what I've noticed with Solex as time has been progressing, they're kind of waiting on us to find the little nuggets of changes, unless it's some big, huge update that we're going to have to get training for. Now, in that instance, they don't really, they'll tell us ahead of time, but if it's something small, we may not know. So you're just really going to have to pay attention to, the scans and before you stick them in there, making sure that there's nothing extra that's added. So unfortunately,
Well, and we will find that too, because I thought of that as well, right? So the first thing you do when you do your copy paste, you can go right to the bottom. And if you have something that all of a sudden your line is one or two lines longer, something's been added.
yeah,
So
good
you
idea.
look there. And then the way the formulas are set up, if you just go, so they add in, I don't know, new mineral, newly discovered mineral. And basically, if you insert it in here, you'd have to add in that data. You don't already have
Okay.
anything here.
And then all
You
the
add it in.
formulas would adjust.
Correct.
Mhm.
You just need to make sure that if you're at the end of the formula, that you might have to do some,
Adjusted.
yes.
Bonita Mandy is asking if you can go back to the analysis report and explain that.
So the analysis is where I first started because the spreadsheet that you sent me had shown the reds and the greens, right?
Uh-huh.
Ins and outs. And so I thought, okay, well, again, if I wanted to see if something was always an issue, I should be seeing it always showing up in the reds, right? One way or another. So all this does is it basically counts everything in those rows from these reports.
Is
So,
that
for instance-
automatically done if we add a day to our, what is it, the vitals? If we add a day, does it automatically calculate it on that page?
Yes,
Okay,
yes. So yes, and then again, like I say, it drops it in here. So there's some value to be gained from here, although not a whole lot. Maybe again, from a client standpoint, I like looking at the greens because it's like, oh, those greens are good numbers, right?
right.
And again, I'm looking for those numbers to be increasing over time. I haven't done anything else with the formulas because I started building this one. And then I thought, this isn't going to be adequate because you're not going to know, you're not going to see trends here. You're just seeing totals.
Right. It's still kind of, I mean, it's kind of a good glance to kind of see, but yeah, I get what you're saying. It's not going to give us enough info.
No, it's not, because you're not going to make any decisions because you don't have dates on here.
Right.
Okay, how old is this, right? But,
Yep.
and that's when I, because like I say, I started here and then I thought, well, this is cool, but it's really nice colors and all of that, but it's actually not, it's actually not very informational. So that's when I went back to here and I said, I was thinking I need to put totals in here because here is where you want to see what's happening day to day. And again, trends, right?
Right.
You can also build like other spreadsheets to pull off of this one. But I didn't go there because it's a bit of work.
Sure it is. It's a lot of work.
Anyways, like I say, I can send it out. You can drop your numbers in, see what you think, and we can go from there. If you send me a screenshot
Mhm.
of what this other guy did, I'd look at it.
I
Um,
certainly will.
I understand why he wants to sell it. I
Oh,
do.
yeah, I do too.
The thing
because- well,
is like reporting packages are, like there's reporting tools that you can buy for lots of software, because the reality of it is that all of the software in the world, all the information in there doesn't do you any good if you can't actually analyze it.
right.
Right.
So,
And I mean, and they're kind of, he's been retired for some time. This has given him something to do. I get it. But, make it a little bit more affordable for, those of us that are using the scanner. And I just couldn't get through on that part of it. But that's okay,
yes.
I get it.
Well, I like to think that, we offer what we have, and eventually the universe comes back with whatever is meant to be.
It does.
Amen.
It
Amen.
certainly does. And this has been incredible, Benita. I just can't thank you enough. I just don't have time to mess around with stuff like this. It would take me, and I used to work with spreadsheets, but I've forgotten a lot of it. I was a medical biller, so we'd have to keep everything with spreadsheets, but I didn't go in that in depth.
Well, I can tell you, I'm so grateful for AO, for the Solex, for the community that we build here. And I was
Yeah.
having this discussion with someone the other day. She's a practitioner. She loves her scanner. And I asked her, are you interested in the business part of it? She said, I am, but I just am not comfortable with MLM and selling. And I'm like, you're not selling. And I said, some of my most powerful relationships are built in network marketing. And,
Yep.
this is where we find our tribe, and we come together, because I've got people finally that are starting to come into my businesses that have skills I don't have. And it is so flipping powerful when we can all share our skills and our strengths to make such a more powerful opportunity for everyone.
Absolutely. I love
I've
this.
had to do everything myself for so long, and it is exhausting, and I don't have all the skills.
See, and I think that's kind of what has happened to me. I have this humongous team, but number one, I don't even have a website I don't like, and I don't know how to do email blasts, and I need to communicate with my team, and some others know how to do that. And I'm like, I wish I just had half of the, knowledge that some of these other have, but boy, I know how to build a business on social media.
Exactly.
It's all that behind the scenes stuff that I need help with. I need someone to help me know, where do I go to build a website? Where do I go to do these email blasts and things?
Yep.
Because, you need to be able to communicate with your team. And I mean, the back office has a little bit, but it's not what I need. I mean, I need something a little bit more, I don't know.
Yep. Yeah. Same.
But yeah, we have an amazing community and people that just want to help and share and love. And
Yep. There's Mandy piping up to how to build a
Oh.
website.
Mandy, I need that. I have built 2 websites in my time, and neither one of them are just horrible.
And Anissa does web design on the side.
Oh gosh, we haven't. See, the universe comes around.
That's right.
I'm gonna put my email in there. You guys, please let me know. And then everybody else put your email in there for Bonita to send that, and then we'll save the chat that way. Oh, that would be amazing, Cheryl. Cheryl goes, we could have trainings on doing simple tasks like how to use TikTok. See, I
Oh my
was
gosh.
doing things with Facebook. I built my entire business on Facebook.
Same.
And I did like a series of calls on that, and I've been asked to do it again. But it's like, where am I putting my time? I want to be able to help people, but if it's really that useful, I'll do it again. But yeah, that's a great idea, Cheryl. We need to do more of that. Just training to help the simple things.
I'm also I'm feeling on my heart to start doing a weekly AO presentation. My group over in another country is doing that. I've been hopping on their calls, and this is just how they build business, and it's powerful. So, and I used to do that with Healy. So I'm going to start offering that on Thursday nights and sending people back to the person that shared it with them.
Yeah, that's incredible. That's kind of that's kind of what we're doing with our Wow Wednesdays too, is that anybody shows up, and I'm going to put that in the Solex group today, that if anybody shows up on those calls, we will direct them back to the person that invited them to the call, because those calls are powerful. The testimonial calls are extremely useful for building
Yes.
businesses. So I
Yep.
think that that's an incredible way to get more people interested, and we may be expanding that 30-minute time frame to an hour,
Yeah.
because it is growing. So
Speaking of skills, has anybody created a coupon for this AO scan?
like what kind of coupon?
So again, this wellness fair that's going on here, I can provide like a coupon for a free scan.
Oh,
Yeah, I know I mean, the girl that I did an event with, she had made something like that. I'll reach out to her and ask her if she'd be willing to share it. It's Michelle. She's one of my friends here in Oklahoma with me. We meet every Wednesday, so I'll ask her if she'd be willing to share that coupon.
yeah. Cheryl's getting ready to do an event also.
Yeah, we
And we were discussing
also
that this
did
morning.
a drop your business card in. We had like a fishbowl type thing, drop your business card in, and we're going to give you, we're going to pick a name and do, a value of $300 in scanning for, the lucky winner or whatever. And we had a lot of people put their business cards in for that, especially if you
Wow.
put a value on something. And if you did every single scan that the scanner does, depending, that's a lot of information and useful information. And that's upwards worth to $300-400 if you send that to somebody. So
if I was
Wow.
doing just an easy scan, what would you put the value of that at?
I typically always say that's about a $99 value or $129. It's got to be a little less than what the actual, that's my thoughts anyway, a little less than the monthly subscription to it. But I mean, there are some practitioners that, they charge way up there.
For just an easy scan?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's
Wow.
a lot of
And what's the
information.
value
You're
of an inner
getting,
voice?
yeah, you're getting your inner voice with that. You're getting the vitals and you're getting the comprehensive, all three of those.
What would you say the value of the inner voice is? And hi, this is Shara. Nice to meet you.
Hi, Shara.
Hi, Shara.
What I charge for inner voice on a monthly basis is $49 for the month. That's a daily inner voice. I send them the report. And that's pretty cheap, but a lot of people love that system that I do. But I've seen some do just inner voice for $99.
And that's one scan, or that's for the entire month?
That is one scan for $99. Now
I mean,
charge
it's
$49
worth it, I think.
the entire month.
Thank you.
How many times do you scan them in that 30 days? Do you just send them one voice file for the
Once a
month?
day. Once a
Oh.
day, and I always tell them they need to have their voice into me by 10 o'clock Central Standard Time. And most typically, everybody gets up first thing in the morning, they send me their voice, and I do it. It takes less than 30 seconds to run a scan on somebody, send them their report, and just send them okay, I sent your report to you, have a beautiful day, or whatever it is.
Okay.
And I've had upwards to, at one point, I know I had at least 18 people in 1 month that signed up for it. And I was done by about 11-12 o'clock in the afternoon, especially if I was running Cephis on them too. So.
Do you think it's important to do the voice every day if they're, okay.
Yep. Yeah, the ones that do this with me, they love their tones. And I also have a 3-month package that if they'll commit to 3 months, because my firm belief is the inner voice is where the magic happens. And I feel like if they will commit to doing that for 3 months total, they're going to see a big change. And I give them a discount if they'll do it for 3 months. So I'll do it for $127 for 3 months of inner voice instead of $149, because, you know, I charge $49 a month. But then I also have another package where if I'm going to do the inner voice, I'll also do like a 10-minute Cephi playlist just for them. And we do that consistently every day after their inner voice. I'll run that playlist for 10 minutes, set a timer, and I charge $89 a month for that. And people love that. And if you can also add a package, and I've done this too, that I'm going to send you a bottle of your imprinted playlist to you, maybe some Cephi dots, you know, send that to you in the mail. That way you can wear the frequency with you. You can take it internal, and then that way the playlist is just kind of being more effective.
Tammy, does anybody buy the glasses, or do you offer the glasses?
Yes, I actually send them my link, and I say, if you really want to, you know, get the most out of this experience, I really ask you to get in there and get the glasses. And if they can't afford the $130 for the glasses, I say then at least get on Amazon and find a cheapy pair, you know, or a cheapy set of them, because you can. I think you can get them for like 30-40 bucks. Now, they're not the exact same colors, but, you know, at minimum, at least that way they get a better experience.
Yeah.
And those I've been able to convert. I've been able to convert a couple of those where they go, well, wow, this is incredible. I'm like, could you imagine if you can scan and optimize yourself every day on your vitals and your body systems too, and how much more you would get, you know, the benefits out of that too. And they're like, oh, I didn't even know you could do that. Then I go in and I start sharing the other scans with them. And sometimes you'll convert them over where they get their own scanner.
Gotcha. That's really cool.
Yeah.
So I've had my scanner a couple weeks now, and honestly, I'm still like at a loss about, you know, how I'm gonna survive without having multiple scanners. I know that on the computer, you have multiple tabs open, and you can send frequencies, but I don't think you can do any scans like that. Am I right?
It's really, you really shouldn't do any scans on another system. I mean, it's not going to be as accurate, although there are some that do that. So I just find when I do from the scanner, the scans are so much more accurate.
From the mobile, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, really? Yeah, I almost wish that Solex had like a deal for practitioners, you know, because I want to have one for my practice and one for my personal life, because I'm using it constantly. I have 4 kids and I'm constantly using it for my kids, and I end up forgetting to use it for myself. And I'm like trying to take his advice about like being consistent and doing it every day. And I mean, I know it works, but how am I gonna be at that point where I can give a testimony if I don't benefit from it myself, right? I want to have a personal improvement in my life that, so yeah, like if they had a deal for practitioners where they get a second one for a lot cheaper, for their personal use, and then they keep the other one for their practice, that would be amazing.
That's a great idea.
I do know that they have things that they've even spoke to us about at the other day of discoveries, where the large $30,000 unit, what you were able to like schedule up to 4 or 5 people with their Cephi program, schedule it all within the unit, and have all 4 or 5 of those people running. And you could do the scan too. And I don't know if that's something that they're going to continue to try to work on to get it done, but there's been talk about it. So I imagine that will end up coming out. I mean, I have 2 subscriptions because we use mine all the time. And when mine is tied up with family, I have my other one that I can use for my clients if I need to. So I mean, it's been that way for me from day one though. So And I'm with you. I mean, it is helpful to have more than one subscription. That way you can play around with it. But until you get built up to that, you know, hopefully Solex will come out with something. But I think that's a great idea too. Give them a suggestion, email it to them. They
I will.
listen.
I will.
I think $150 a month in the industry per month is, especially if you're doing a practice, it's very reasonable to have
think
a
so.
separate subscription.
Yeah, I think so. You know, this has come up several times, and even they talked about it on the last call, or even no, it was on our leadership call. How a lot of people, they look at this $149 and go, gee, I just can't afford that. Yet they'll sign up with another company, and the minimum to get started with some of these other companies is $150 to $200 a month, and they don't even question that. But it's like, what's the difference? We're just subscribing to a technology, and I think those are the people that maybe are not using it fully. I mean, you have to use this every day, all day, to see the value from it.
Oh, heck yeah. And it's not a company where I have to keep buying supplements or things that sit on the counter because I can't use them all.
Right. And their supplements are amazing too. I mean,
Yes. Yes, they are.
I mean, at least we know when they do come out, it's not just a filler. It's
Right.
something that's actually going to be used, and you're going to get some benefit from it.
Yep. I recommend the top pack with the X Gold for everybody.
Yeah.
Staple.
Yes, it's that Solex Gold is amazing. Will we have any other questions or thoughts about the spreadsheet? Everybody, did you get the chat, Bonita, so you could send everybody a copy?
No, not yet. I do have a question on the pellets.
Yeah.
Because I'm in Canada, I don't know if anybody else here is on the call from Canada and who has ordered them. It's like, because I'd like to order those pellets, but I'm always leery about whatever has to come across the border. You never know if Customs Buddy is going to put up a fuss or charge me a whole bunch of money. So I'm wondering if anybody else has bought them or used them.
Cheryl, do you ever order homeopathic pellets or anything?
No, I haven't yet.
Okay.
But I do have the concern about things coming across the border and being irradiated as well.
Yeah, and that.
Well, these come in foil lined boxes, containers, and then they send you individual boxes so that you can also ship them to people and protected.
Yeah. And you can erase all the irradiation from it once you get them in there. So.
Yep.
And so the big package, like how many comes in there? It says it's 250 milliliters or something. It's like how many pellets does that amount to?
Are you talking about the big bottle? This big bottle?
Yes.
It says 500 grams, but I've had this big bottle, maybe, I don't know how many pellets that would be. I've had it for, it says 125 servings. So, and that's a teaspoon. A serving size is a teaspoon. So, I mean, there's quite a few in there. I've been using, I use this to fill up like family bottles that I've, given my family pellets, and a few that I mail to. But I typically buy the box of 25 and mail those out. And if someone mails it back to me, I'll refill it for no charge for them and send it back to them. But I've went through probably 3 bottles of these since I've been in the company, and I've been in the company for 2 years.
Okay.
And then I've been through probably 4 boxes of the bottles. And I mean, it's really cheap. Those bottles are cheap compared to, getting the blank pellets through other sources. Because I have looked, that I would like to see their pellets get a little smaller, but
Yeah, they're kind of big. Yeah, I do homeopathy and nosodes are one of my specialties, and this is very affordable. I mean, much more
Very.
affordable than the other resources that I have.
Yep, very. I've been doing it for a long time too, and I've never found them that cheap, and I buy them every time. Now I've noticed in the back office they're not available. I think they're repackaging the boxes.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
I think the homeopathic bottle or the box of 25, I think they're unavailable right now because they're repackaging.
Oh, okay. I'm stocked up. I love those.
I do too. They're my fave.
The pellets then, like if I broadcast the homeopathics, are they effective or they're just not as effective as ingesting the pellets?
I think they're effective. I think having both, you know, send your client, you know, whatever pellets you want them to have, and then also broadcast that, because if you're taking that internally, the body recognizes those frequencies more readily when you're taking it internally and it's being broadcasted. Does that make sense?
Yes, like Lauren's story with the apple.
Yes. Mandy, the difference between the sugar pellets is you're going to take that internally, where the Cephi dots, you're going to wear it on your body. So doing the wearables is about the same as if you were, well, not really the same because it's a little different. If you're doing the wearables, you're wearing it around your wrist or on your finger or around your neck, whereas the Cephi dots, you can put them on your meridian lines. And that will clear that, you know, either the dampness or the heat that's, you know, the body's created in those meridian lines. You can put them on, you know, the different chakra points too, and wear those frequencies on the body. The Cephi dots are just amazing. Best thing they ever came out with, I think.
I agree.
I think that they're good, Mandy, all together. So if you can get everybody using, like I wear my dot, I imprint my jewelry, I take my homeopathics every day. I also have a bottle that I use to imprint my playlist that I'm going to use for myself for the day. I take those pellets and then I broadcast that. And then I also have my Cephi dot that I've imprinted with something as well. So it's just kind of a well-rounded system, because we're just getting hit by so many negative frequencies. I just want all the positive around me. My mom has the C word and she uses the Cephi dots, and I give her the pellets. It's not enough sugar that's going to, I mean, they make probably more sugar in their gut than they do the sugar that you would take on those homeopathic pellets, in my opinion. Anissa, what do you mean? You guess those also free up the scanner for broadcasts? The Cephi dots?
Yeah, the Cephi dots and the sugar pellets and the wearables and everything, because it's faster, right, to imprint them?
Oh yeah, it would be faster to do that, but I would still broadcast to my client. You know, being consistent. I think the key is just being consistent. What I've noticed that I've broadcasted things for people all day long, and yet then I'll have a client where they have, you know, a bracelet. I've sent them Cephi dots. I've sent them the homeopathic pellets, and I can broadcast for 10 minutes and it's just as effective doing that short amount of time, because they have all these other things that they're doing alongside that, than it is for me just to broadcast the Cephi playlist all day long. I find that they have more results from doing all of it than just broadcasting all day long. Does that make any sense to you? I mean, you have some people that are really sensitive to frequencies and you don't have to do a whole lot with them. But then you have some people that are just, you know, it takes a little bit longer.
So I do want to make a comment about the reports, if that's okay.
Yes.
You went a little bit late, so I didn't really catch 100% of what was said about the guy who makes the reports and charges $150 for it, or how he does it. But I don't know if he only uses a spreadsheet, but in my opinion, the way to go about this is using an automation software like Zapier. I don't know if anybody's familiar with that, or Integromat, which is now called Make. They changed the name to Make.
I know Zapier.
Okay, yeah. So I'm not like a Zapier expert, but I have used it in the past for my businesses, like automating certain things that are repetitive, so I don't have to do it manually. And it's a game changer. It's such a time saver. But obviously, it's going to take me some time to figure it out, and I may even hire a Zapier consultant to like help me set it up properly, because the reports, all the reports are different, and there's like quirks in each one. But it's really useful to attend these meetings, because I can see, because I've only had the scanner for a few weeks, right? So I can see like what exactly people want to track and how they want it organized. Like that's the part that I don't know yet. So that's why like I want to learn as much as possible about, because I don't want to make the automation until like I know exactly like what to show and what not to show and how to organize it, right? So right now, all I have is just, it goes from the email to a Google Drive folder, and that's it. That's all I've got set up right now. But I think it's totally doable to set it up exactly how we want. And then we wouldn't have to do any copy and pasting. We wouldn't have to write any formulas in. It would all be done automatically. So you send it from your scanner, and then you have a document in your Google Drive that's already set up exactly how you want. So all you have to do is analyze. You don't have to move things around. And I think it's
amazing.
I think that would be great. Yeah, I wonder if Solex will have to do something with their API in order to do that, though. But I think that that's great. And if we could get his app together and do Zapier, I think that would be super, super helpful. They may have to do something with the API in order for like the Zap to work, I think.
But we wouldn't even take it directly from the scanner. We would just take it from the spreadsheet emails.
Okay.
So in that,
okay, I'm just trying to figure out what the action would be. But if you're hiring an expert, they can definitely help you figure that out. I think that's really smart. I was thinking something
it's so interesting to me. I love automations. And also my other question was like, I mean, obviously I want to share it, but I do have to pay for the Zapier subscription. So I want that cost covered. And I also feel like it needs to be kind of like a maintenance program, because things break. Like, it's not like you set it up and you're good forever, right? Like things break, and like you said, they could change it on the scanner or whatever, and then you have to go in and make adjustments. So I guess my question is, what would you be willing to pay on a monthly basis for something like that? Or even donate. Like, it's not about the money for me, but it's just so I can cover my costs.
What is the subscription worth? Do you know?
They have different amounts of the subscription, but I do know that they have a free account, but it only allows you up to a certain amount of Zaps. But there are some, like you mentioned, and how do I pronounce your name? Anissa? Is that how you pronounce your name?
Yeah.
Okay. There are some other software that's similar to Zapier, where they have lifetime deals as well. So you just pay for it one time and you get to use it for life. I mean, Zapier is the industry standard though, so most people know about that, but there are some alternatives.
Nice.
I think that's a good investment. I mean, because I just cannot believe how much time it's taking everybody to look at these reports. And I mean, our time would be so much better spent figuring out a plan of action for the client, and also learning. Like, I don't know half these words, these like blood lipids and all that stuff. Like, I don't have a background in this, right? So
you can highlight those words on your scanner, right? And it'll pull up the definition.
I think only on the computer, not on the mobile.
Yeah, you should be able to do it on the mobile too. Yep, that's how. I mean, my mom's one that showed me back in November when I started. I said, "How did you figure that out?" She goes, "I was just playing around on it." So you can go to like your report in your vitals and just touch on the word, and a lot of them are still in development, but a lot of them have their definitions in there, so you can always Google it. but just touch on the word and it will bring up a box.
Yeah, I'll try it.
Any other questions or thoughts or concerns? I like everything that's been brought. This is amazing, guys.
Has anybody been having trouble with the comprehensive scan on the mobile unit?
Like
Or
how?
is there it just errors out with an error message? And is there a way, I've shut off and restarted my phone, but is there a different thing that you've been taught to do with your mobile when things like that happen?
You may need to do the factory reset on it and then make sure that your Google Chrome is updated. Those are a couple of the tricks that you can do. And it seems like whenever I keep having issues, I'll just do a factory reset and restart it. It's like it takes us right back, because if they do any type of updates that they don't tell us about, sometimes things will error out on us. And if you'll just do that factory reset or uninstall the app and reinstall it. So if you'll hold down your finger on it and then uninstall it and then reinstall it, sometimes that fixes it too.
Okay, I'm an Apple user, so is there a quick way how you do the Google update, software update? Is that even, I started looking for it under settings and it wasn't anything like the Apple. So anybody have a quick, I don't expect the whole step-by-step, but even one guidance of where it's at on the phone?
And
So
I don't use Apple, so.
So what I do is I go, if you've got our scanner, the mobile
Yeah,
scanner.
this is a Google
pull up-
scanner. That's the part.
Yeah, so you just pull up Google Chrome, and then
Okay.
there's three dots, it looks like it's three
Yeah.
dots in the top right-hand corner. I think
Yeah.
you click on history, and
Okay.
then you want to clear, and I think if you go to advanced or something there, you want to
Okay.
clear the top three things. And as soon as you clear that, it's going to clear your history in there, and it's going to give you all kinds of room. So I find that's my hang up most of the time.
Oh,
Is
because
it-
there's a
is
ton of
capturing-
scans.
Yeah, so it's capturing all those scans and it's tying up your phone. And so as soon as we clear those, then I don't have an issue anymore, if
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Because there is a clear browser data right
Yep,
there.
that's
Yep.
what you want to do. But you want to, it's just the top three. You don't want your contacts and all that other stuff cleared out of there.
Right.
Okay. Okay, so it says browser history, cookies, and site data and cache. So I just want browsing history. Is that what you're saying?
Correct. I
Okay,
think so.
I think so too. Because the cookies probably not, and although the cache is images and files.
You might want, are those the top three at the top, 1, 2? I
There's
can't.
just 3 of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there's just 3 of them. It's browsing history, cookies, and site data or cache.
Yeah, I think that might be all 3. Let me look.
I'll probably keep the cookies and site data and just do the cache and the browsing, because all I use this for is the AO. I don't use it for anything else.
Oh,
So
good.
I shouldn't need any, I'm gonna try that. Okay, so that's, let's see if
Yep,
that,
so the 4 I have checked is browsing history, cookies and site data, and cache images and files. So every time I clear all 3 of those.
oh, okay, maybe then I'll clear the cookies then. Says also clear data from these sites. These sites seem important to you, and I'm gonna go clear.
Yep,
Doesn't
clear.
seem-
Yep,
Doesn't seem like it's clearing them though, because they're still listed. Let me see.
yeah, and then it says pages that you visit appear here and it's blank. I don't know.
I'm gonna try it one more time. It didn't clear it out. Okay, well, I'll work on that. I won't waste anybody's time there.
At least it kind of points you in the right direction.
Absolutely, that's what I needed. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, guys, this was incredible. Bonita,
was-
Thank you.
so
Thank you
much
so
for coming
much.
on. And we look forward to playing with that spreadsheet. And Anissa, if you can figure out anything on your end with the Zapier, let us know. Gosh, we can have that next week if you can figure that out, or the week after, whatever works for you. Just reach out. And
I'll
we'll have you on the call and kind of cover all that, see if that helps us even more. That's a lot of information. All right, guys, any other questions or comments before we leave for the morning?
I guess I directed my website question to the wrong person, but I am interested in whoever kind of manages or works with websites. So is it Mandy and Anissa? Can
Yeah.
you grab my information off the chat quick so that you can
Please
reach
keep the
out to
chat,
me
yes.
before?
Sure.
It's I put it in the message if you need it. Otherwise, before we close off and then but
Yeah, if you can put your information in there again, Linda. Is Linda still with us? Yeah, Linda.
oh, Linda,
Mandy's asking for it again, so.
Mandy, can I do it again? Okay. So is it Mandy or Anissa or both of you that do website stuff?
Both of them, I think.
Okay. I'm gonna just put it in here again. And then I did put it for the spreadsheet. So she has it. She got it from the thing and we'll get the spreadsheet.
Yep. All right, let's save that chat. And just reach out to either me, Sheila, or, and we can make sure you get a copy of that spreadsheet, because I know once I get it, if I get it, I'll make sure, and I can also post it in the group too. That way everybody has access to it. All right, everyone, this has been incredible. We'll see you on Wednesday night and Saturdays.
Yes,
Sounds
very
great.
powerful. Tammy, thank you for hosting.
Yes,
Absolutely.
thank you so
Absolutely.
much.
Thanks,
All right,
ladies.
guys.
Have a
Have a
great
good
day.
one.
Bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.